Okay, I'm going to do a quick summary of Chapter 18, the practice quiz that is, and some of the things I think you could look for. Question one, since workers in the United States economy receive most of the total income earned, which of the following factors of production is considered to be both? So that's labor, all right? The four factors of production are land, labor, entrepreneurship, and capital. Remember, land, natural resources, capital that make things, but labor's there. Could they ask you about the other three factors? They could. I would tend to doubt it, though. Suppose that in January, a profit-maximizing firm has 25 employees. By February, the firm has decreased employment. One could infer that when 25 employees are hired, if they're laying off workers, then the wage has to exceed the value of marginal product of labor. And remember, the value of marginal product of labor, we've been calling the MRP in class, all right? They are the same thing, just different names from different textbooks. Now, what I could expect, though, is to reverse this. If a firm is hiring employees, what does that mean? Well, that would mean the marginal product of labor exceeds the wage. So I would be, on the lookout for that. Okay, now I would fill out all these charts. I always tell you that, but let's see. Now, the marginal product of labor times price equals the value of marginal product of labor, or MRP, whichever that would be. So if I'm looking at, for the first one, there's 300 times X equals 600. So the price is 2. So I could figure out the price is 2. All right. So therefore, if the marginal product for the second worker is 200 times 2, AA would be 400. All right. Now, how do I figure out the marginal product of labor? It's the change in output over the change in labor. Now, the change in labor is all one. The only one I have to figure out is CC. That's 650 minus 600. That's 50. All right. And the last one to figure out on this chart is profit, which is the MRP, or the value of marginal product of labor, minus wage. All right. So if for the third unit, it's 200 minus 300. So BB would be a minus 100. Now let's just look what they asked. What is the value for the cell DD? Oh, that's one I didn't figure out yet. Well, we figured out that the marginal product of labor is 50. 650 minus 600 is 50. We figured out the price is $2. So therefore, DD is going to be 100. Okay. So the answer there would be C, as in Caroline, 100. All right. Let's see, could I scroll down a little? I shouldn't have so much trouble scrolling down, but I seem to. There we go. All right. All right. Now we've got a new table. All right. Now, as we look at table, what is that, 18.5, again, how are we going to find the marginal product labor for the first worker? It's 100 minus 0 is 100. So I'm not going to fill out this whole chart for you. I'm going to show you how you could find each one, and then tell you that you should fill out the whole chart. So this is going to be 100. Remember, I said the marginal product of labor times price equals VMPL. So I have 100 times X equals 1,000. 100X equals 1,000. So the price is going to be 10. All right. Now, how do I figure out the output for the third worker? Well, if the marginal product of labor is 80, I got to add 100 plus 80 to give me 180, right? Because the output for the second worker has to be 80 more than the first. And then I'm going to do the same thing. 180 plus 60 is going to give me 240 here. Okay. Now, what is the marginal profit of the fourth worker? All right. Well, if this is 240, I know 280 minus 240, the fourth worker's marginal product of labor is going to be 40. I know, times 10 is going to give me the 400. 400 minus 500 is going to give me minus 100 as an answer. Hold it. I'm sorry. I'm reading 8 and looking at the table here. That's my bad. But anyhow, I filled out the chart for 3. Let's go to what question 4 has. Referring to 18.5, it is apparent from the table that increasing marginal product. All right. Now, you don't account increasing marginal product as the first worker because it has to go up for the first worker. So if I look at this, it goes 180, 60. So increasing marginal product has never occurred. So that would be E as in Ellen never occurred. I just want to erase this because it's now seems out of place and messy. All right. All right. So that's 4. 5 is the fact that the production function exhibits diminishing marginal productivity. It applies that. All right. Well, if it is diminishing marginal productivity for 5, it applies that C, the additional to total output gets smaller and smaller. And you could see that right in the table. Total output goes from 100 to 180. It increases by 80, 180 to 240, it increases by 60, 240 to 280, it increases by 40. So it continues to increase, but it is increasing at a smaller number. All right, labor augmented technology. Augmented means technology that makes labor more productive. All right, causes which are the following. Well, it's going to cause the marginal productivity of labor to increase because I'm now more productive. I too know the marginal, no, that's the opposite. Labor is going to shift to the right because I'm more productive. And productivity is one of the shifters of demand. And labor shifts to the left, no. So it's going to be C as in Caroline, 1 and 3. All right, we now go to another table, 18.4. All right. And this is a table you should be able to fill out by yourself, and you should fill it out. And again, marginal product, and I'll fill out the first line, and then whatever I have to fill out for the answer. The marginal product for the first worker is 200 minus 0. So that's going to be 200. I forgot what the golf ball is. The golf ball's 250. So 250 times 200 is 500. I'm just going to put a 5 in there. The wage is 325. So it's 500 minus 325. And that would give you 175. But question 7 is, what is the value of the marginal product of the second worker? All right. So for the marginal product of the second worker, I'm going 380 minus 200 is 180. But to figure out the value of the marginal product, I have to take the 180 and times it by 250, right? Because that is the price of a golf ball. And that's going to give me 450, which is B as in broccoli. I would fill out the rest of this chart because there's definitely going to be the same chart on your test. And, if you could fill it out, it makes it easy. It makes it easier for you to do the math and understand what's going on. Remember, wage would be 325 for all. So to find marginal profit, it's VMPL minus wage. To find value of its marginal product times 250. Now, let's see, is there another question there? Question 8, what is the marginal profit of the fourth worker? All right, let us just go through the fourth worker. And I got, I'm having trouble just reading this. So for the fourth worker, I got 680 minus 540. So that's going to give me 140 here. 140 times 250 is 280 is 350. So I got 350 here. The wage is 325 all the way down. So 350 minus 325, it's going to give me an answer of, let me check, because I got to scroll down there. It's going to give me an answer of A as an alpha 25. So let me just do that again. To find the marginal product, I did the change in output 680 from 540. That would give me 140. I took the marginal product of labor times price, 140 times 250. That got me 350. Then 350 minus the wage of 325 got me a positive 25. Again, that chart's going to be on the test or on the quiz. I would be ready for anything they could ask you. All right, number 9. Suppose there is a technological advance. All right, here's the tricky thing. Technology in the labor market is productivity, and that's a change in demand. Where in the product market, it's rat nest, a change in supply. So suppose that a technological advance that allows Willis employees to produce more golf balls than they could before. Because of this change, the firm's demand is going to, for labor, is going to shift to the right. All right. Now we're going to number 10. All right. All right. The shift of labor from D1 to D2. All right. So be careful. This one says D1 to D2. So we're increasing demand. All right. Just got to be careful because they could go either way with that. From D1 to D. All right. A change in workers' attitudes. All right. A change in workers' attitudes about leisure. That's a supply shifter. Decreased wages in other labor markets. That's a supply shifter. Now, let me explain why that's a supply shifter. So say the wages in Baltimore City for teachers decrease. That would increase the supply of teachers in Baltimore County, because the teachers in Baltimore City, after getting a decrease in pay, would look at other places for jobs and would come to Baltimore County to work. So A and B are supply issues. An increase in the price. Remember, MP, marginal productivity, or the marginal productivity of labor, times price equals MRP, or the value of marginal product of labor. They're the same. So if price goes up of the output you are making, that is going to shift demand. So C, as in Caroline, is the answer. All right. So I would expect to see that if it's, a shift from D1 to D2, and demand, just remember, it's a change in demand, which will change the price of the output. That's one shifter. A change in technology is the second shifter. Those are the two main things. And then you have substitutes. But the two main things are productivity and price of product. So I would look for something there. All right, for 11, now we're going to get a supply shift. Okay. So the shift of labor supply, all right, from S1, all right, we're increasing. We're going from S1 to S2. A change in workers' attitude to, yes, if people want less leisure, the supply of workers will increase. decrease in wages from other markets. I talked to you about that from Baltimore City. So that would, immigrants of workers into the region. Yes, that gives you more workers. So D as in Dogwood, all of the above. All right, 12. When the marginal product of the third, what is the marginal product of the third unit of labor? The third unit would be what, they're 180 minus 130. So the answer would be B as in broccoli, 50. Okay, so going over, I think the trickiest parts, truthfully, fill out all the charts. If you know how to do the charts, I mean, there looks like there'll be 6 or 7 questions on those same exact charts. 2, know the shifters of supply and demand, because those 2 graphs will probably be on there. So that's like about 9 of the questions, just thinking it out that way. All right, I hope this helped. I will talk to you tomorrow.